Did you ever have a crush on that high school teacher? How did it end up? Not myself, but in high school a few girls had a crush on the swim teacher, coach, and a few of them ended up pregnant and he ended up in prison. I had a crush on my math teacher, so I took 2 classes as electives. That's at the end of the story. I am an accountant now though. It ended up her telling me to focus on my studies after I gave her a love letter, which she returned back. Not me personally, but had a girl openly try to flirt with our teacher. One day she was giggling and jokingly accused him of trying to look down her shirt. Holy hit, did that backfire. He immediately lost his cool and marched her straight up to the office. I cringe at the second-hand embarrassment of this day. Yes, it ended up with me no longer having a crush on them. I slept with my 11th grade English teacher. To be fair, this was years after high school when I was 28 and she was 38. I'd traveled back to my hometown for a mate's wedding. She was a friend of the bride. This is a pretty small town, so everyone knows everyone. We sat at the same table, we both got a little drunk and flirtatious. I spent the night at her place. It was fun, but I'm pretty certain the entire town knows. Grade 10 biology teacher. She was really young, must have been fresh out of teacher's college, really bubbly and cheerful, willing to help students, really seemed to care about her work, which was not the norm at my high school. I don't remember her name. I mean, it's been over 25 years and biology was one of the subjects I didn't pursue to completion. Never did anything about it. Dear reader, if you were a petite biology teacher in Scarborough, Ontario in the 90s, and remember boasting about having a playset of Beta Sarah angels to a tall ogreish socially maladjusted student, hit me up. I'd love to buy you a drink and catch up, even if it's just platonic. I thought you were so cool. Not me, but a lot of the girls in my high school had a crush on the English teacher. I knew him pretty well since he had been my soccer coach throughout high school and even in middle school. He also coached wrestling and track. He was in his early 30s and in incredible shape, as in he did triathlon shape. One day in class, kinda a low work day, some of the girls wrote, Mr. _____ is sexy, on the dry erase board. He flipped out, just, oh hell no, gave us a lecture on why that was inappropriate. Few years after I graduated, he was teacher of the year. I had a crush on my middle school science teacher. It turns out she was cheating on her husband with a married gym coach. She married him. A few years later, she left him for another married man. She then dumped him. Later she got with another married man. She took his wife's place as co-owner of the company he was preparing to start with his wife. She is currently married to him. Not me, but we had this gigantic D-bag substitute teacher who came to teach math midway through when her teacher went on maternity leave. He was 22 or so, just out of school himself. There was a rumor that he was sleeping with a very much under 18 girl in the class. I could never confirm if the rumor was true, but a few years after high school the girl and I friended each other on Facebook and she'd married him and had a kid. I had a crush on my best friend's dad. He was only 17 when he had her and he was hot, not just good looking, hot. At one point she asked if there was something bad going on at my house because I always wanted to do sleepovers at her place even though my mom was a fabulous cook and her dad couldn't cook for height. Then she'd talk about her crushes and I'd be so tempted to tell her, I'm just practicing for when I'm your mom. Not me, but we had a gym teacher who was very, very good looking, like supermodel level. It was basically common knowledge that he sometimes slept with students, and so a lot of the girls would pretty much be as sexual and flirty as possible around him. It was like a big game they played, who John get the hunky gym teacher to UCK them, except the rumors that he slept with students were just that, rumors. He actually addressed this during a class, with the vice principal by his side, outwardly yelling in anger at us that he has never slept with any student and that he is tired of these rumors being spread. He said that years ago he installed a camera in his office, and so anybody saying that they upped him in his office was a liar. Miss Flores. Really fancied my Spanish teacher. She was quite posh English, but had a wonderful Spanish accent. We danced in a bar when I was in 6th form, and Thina about a year after leaving school I saw she had a kid with someone from the year below me. I am content. Yes. Our computer class teacher. Everyone had a crush on him, but we all thought there was no way he would ever pay attention to us being so young. He was really kind and always so smooth. One day the principal found him after school hours making out with one of the senior students at the teacher's lounge, and he was fired right on the spot, while the girl was suspended, but they kept it a secret from the rest of the students. The next day they hired some guy who looked like George Constanza to replace him and told us that the previous teacher had to take a trip or something. We found out about what happened from rumors, and I knew for sure that he didn't go on a trip because he worked part-time at my then-boyfriend's school, and he said he was still working there. One day a news reporter was outside my school trying to interview parents about what happened. Turns out the girl the teacher was making out with was the daughter of some important business's man and he wanted to sue the school. The school then had to tell us the truth about what happened, in a meek way, and asked us not to talk to any media about it. It was a big scandal. I was just crushed knowing I actually could have had a chance with him, haha silly me. Girl in my class had a flirtatious relationship with our social science teacher in high school. Immediately after graduation she went up to him and said, "I want you," and he said, "I always told you guys to go after what you want, didn't I?" At least that's what she said happened. But they got married and had 2 kids. Divorced a few years later, but hey, she shot her shot. It was scandalous in our little town, of course. He was like 28, I think. Who's the most dangerous human alive right now? My cousin Randy posts a lot of pictures on Facebook of skeletons riding motorcycles and stuff with captions about how loyal he is, but if you betray him he can be your worst nightmare, so probably him. When I was in 8th grade, one watched my best friend's uncle rip a whole cigarette in one puff and then lift an entire transmission out of a car, so I'd prob say him. Some guy you haven't heard of because he wants it that way. Probably some guy in the middle of nowhere with an covered disease that can wipe humanity out. There was this kid in elementary school I knew who was to eat his pears with ranch. And enjoyed it. Hittybots, accounts that repost AskReddit threads in order to advertise their own accounts Mew. Who underscore is underscore the underscore most underscore dangerous underscore human underscore alive underscore right underscore now. My mom when you lose one of her Tupperware containers edit, typo. Leroy Brown. He's the baddest man in the whole Amtown. Randy. Incapability to harm a lot of people? Whoever runs China or the US at any given moment as the 12 largest credible nuclear powers. In a capacity of person-on-person violence. Probably someone we've never heard of. What common, sexy, thing is a turn-off for you personally? Dated a girl who was really into anime once, shedded the hentai cries to be sexy, and it was just the most unsexy thing I've ever experienced. It was like doing the do with a ucking chipmunked F1 race car. In Ireland, fake tan is very popular among women of all ages. But any guy I have talked to about this topic hate it. It's okay when done right, but 99.9% of the time it is orange and patchy and looks like baby's diarrhea smeared all over your body. Any women I have discussed this with insists it looks amazing and that the boys love it, but me and any guy I have talked to about it are turned off majorly by the sight and even smell of it. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards and upvotes, I appreciate it a lot. The dumb, aggressive UCK boy demographic. The alpha guys. Everyone who identified as alpha have been the most unfuckable douchebag I've ever met. They're pushy, delusional, unkind, unable to care about any topic past the tip of their own dicks, but proclaim to anyone who will listen, and even louder if you don't want to listen, that other men hate them because they're so manly. Talk about drying up my ussy. Aside from all the physical turn-offs, I am turned off by someone who's acting sexy. It's too ridiculous to me. Just act normal. Ick pics are the biggest one for me and have resulted in a few self-cock blocks. Your ick isn't really that visually appealing and most guys don't put the effort into even making it look good. Lighting, posing, a decent background and seeking consent from the recipient are the basics if you want to actually impress somebody instead of grossing them out. When confidence turns into arrogance. Whatever the drooling cross-eyed thing is. Male strippers. Just not for me, and if I ever got a lap dance, I would probably just end up laughing lol. Ripping off clothes during X. Just take them off, no need to be a werewolf. Guys being all tough and alpha. I prefer sweet soft guys. Most mainstream orn. Gagging in BJ, null, the power thrusting, treating women as objects, etc. Edit. Add the moaning. Oh my god, the moaning. Courtesy you, chimney nerd, for reminding me. Telling me, I'm gonna make you just puts me under pressure, and this way it is definitely not gonna come to that, sorry. What are you sick of people constantly telling you? Why are you so quiet? Just stop thinking about it. When I'm anxious AF. Oh thanks, never thought of that. Sir, you are making a scene, I think you should leave. That I need to eat more or exercise to grow taller. I'm 19, not 9. It's not gonna work, buddy. I'm 4 feet 11 inches for life. Being told I'll fail while trying to quit smoking. 4 days so far. I've got this edit. Oh wow, thank you. Going into day 5 strong edit 2. Thank you so much for the awards. I'm blown away by the amount of support that has come from this, as well as the stories you all have. My mother-in-law follows up every comment that she knows rubbed me the wrong way with, I'm only trying to help, or, I'm just saying. Fuck. You should smile more. I'm a fairly peppy extrovert when I'm out in public, but I'm a female, working in retail, so the second I don't smile, some jackass always has to say something. That I look like a child, I am over the legal drinking age in the US, but have had 2 people think my ID is fake recently because I look 12 inches. What still has not recovered from the COVID-19 shutdown? Hours of some places were reduced and they never went back to their old hours, and a couple of restaurants closed their dining room and went to takeout only, and they've stayed that way. Teaching. The students are worse. They are 1 to 2 years behind, with both knowledge and socialization. Attention spans are shorter. Phones are a major problem. 24-hour Walmart dotted line face. Price of groceries, and pretty much everything else. The housing market is a disaster still. Dr. APPT availability. Measurement of time. For a lot of people, the 2 years COVID lasted was like time was put on pause.